Coming up this week on Kiss My Kollectibles, we talk with collector Greg Crane. Want more Kiss? Be sure and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay up to date when we post new episodes.
This is Kiss My Kollectibles podcast, but you knew that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Kollectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is
Andrew Scambetti, here again.
Drinking
a green smoothie today.
Yeah, what's in that?
I don't know.
Gross. Yeah, and joining us all the way from are you in L.A.?
I am.
All right, all the way from Los Angeles, California, is Greg Crane.
Hey, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
That's right.
So Greg is going to be our featured collector this week. We've been doing a lot of these, and he saw Scott's episode last week, and I asked him to join us because he seems to post in the groups, and I see him online posting all of his cool stuff. It's tough to kind of see behind him. Duck for a second. Yeah, but he's got some nice display cases of stuff back there. And so hopefully
I think Kiss collectors keep IKEA in business.
Yes, absolutely.
I was just going to say those.
It's all the
IKEA.
same cases. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's all the same cases.
Yeah, I think Andrew George in Australia just bought some IKEA display cases and.
Yeah, but the funny thing about Andrew George is half his posts are about Kiss. The other half are about Uber Eats. The guy loves Uber Eats.
I know, man. It's the best. So anyway, we're gonna do our normal thing here, where we're gonna talk to Greg about his history with the band and his history with collecting and his favorite pieces. He's gonna show some stuff. He's gonna send us some photos to edit in. Yeah, blah 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 blah. You've all seen it.
You've been here before. You know what's going on.
Yeah. Greg hasn't been here before, but all of you have. So.
All of you have, hopefully.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll start off with our normal format and show some stuff that we've gotten. Andrew, do you want me to go first?
Let me go first because I got some cool stuff finally.
Andrew's got some cool stuff, so we're going to let him show his stuff.
All right. So first, I'm going to show a couple things that Jason's already shown that he got, but I did get the Sound of Vinyl 40th anniversary Rock and Roll Over colored vinyl. So there you go. Looks like a beautiful, clear creamsicle. Not as cool, not as beautiful creamsicle-y as our Ace record, but still very cool. So that did just come in. And I did just get these. Let's hope that they make a Peter and Ace, but I did just get these.
Yes, they're nice and ugly.
But the only thing I don't like is on the Gene one, I got a big UPC in the middle.
I've heard a lot of reports of that where you order it from Target.com.
That's what I had to do.
Right, and everybody's have had stickers on them in all kinds of random places.
But the Paul one doesn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, maybe it's per order. You ordered those together, right?
No, well, yes, but they arrived separately.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway,
I saw on that Migo Museum Facebook group, I saw people posting them, not just Kiss, lots of them, where the stickers were stuck on the fronts and on just all over the place, and we're having trouble peeling them off.
Yeah. So, and we really never show things of our collection that are kind of older. We typically really only focus on new stuff as far as Jason and I showing stuff. So I did want to show something older because the anniversary of this just passed. And I pulled it out and I had it on my jacket that night. So if anybody that follows me on Facebook, you've already seen this before. But this is the pin that was handed out in 1977 by WPLJ for the Madison Square Garden shows. So this anniversary just passed. So I figured I'd pull this out. And this is one of my favorite pieces in my collection. I absolutely love the pins, and I love all of this kind of stuff. So
I believe I obtained that when we were doing the show, and I showed it on one of the episodes.
Yes,
so it's a great piece.
It's a great piece, and it's very cool. Next up, I mentioned last week how there's two Kiss shops going on that are run by two completely different entities. So if you join the Kiss Army, you have a 10% coupon off of the Kiss shop. Now, that 10% off coupon is not applicable to anything purchased from the End of the Road shop. Now, be careful. Buyer beware, be careful. Because there are items that are the exact same item that are on the end of the road shop that are also in the KISS shop. So, you guys got me. So, I'm going to say, hey, you guys got me. I followed an Instagram ad to get these. These are the KISS Wayfarer sunglasses. I got them on sale. And then I noticed that my 10% off coupon was not applied. And then when I emailed, they were like, we don't offer that and blah, blah, blah. So, be careful. If you want to use your 10% off coupon, follow the link inside your main page on your KISS Army login. It does not apply to the items from the end of the road shop. Now, let me just go off on a tangent here. This is the dumbest thing ever. The dumbest thing. Two competing shops that sell the same thing that don't talk to each other from the same website. It's the stupidest thing. So,
I'll have a follow-up to that in just a moment.
Yes. Okay, so I got these. These are cool. I just like them. You know, they reminded me of the Hot in the Shade sunglasses.
Yeah, I agree.
That were being sold. So I picked them up, and I got them on sale, so they were cool. They were very cool, and they come with this nice little case here that you could also use to wipe them down with. So yes. Okay, so that's all the stuff that I have that you can still get. So now I'm going to show something really cool that I can't say where it came from. They are extremely, extremely, extremely limited. And just enjoy them. Just enjoy them that you're seeing them and that I'm sharing them here. So I got 3 of them. So the first one I'm going to show is this one. Oh, yeah. Paul Stanley promotional poster for his Pumas. Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Very, very nice.
It looks like a photo. It's
glossy. It's very glossy. It's very cool. I can't wait to put it in a frame. But it gets cooler.
Nice. Cooler. Is that a real signature or is that a printed signature?
That's a printed signature.
Okay.
So then I got this guy here, a Gene Simmons Vault promotional poster.
Nice.
That is going to look incredible once it is signed. So I have a couple 8x10s signed like this. It's very, very, very cool.
We've covered the Vault extensively on our show. At least 4 different episodes, full episodes. At least.
But make sure you head on there to GeneSimmonsVault.com because you can still get the Vault in 2019 on the KISS tour. So I know I'll be going in Cleveland.
That's right. That's where I was heading with that.
Last but not least. Oh, yeah. End of the road promotional poster.
Very nice.
Can't wait to get this framed. It's going to look great. The costumes look great. A very, very good and dear friend of mine, David Paya, actually made Gene Simmons' costume. So this is very, very, very cool. And yes, so check. So this is awesome.
Yes.
Can't say where I got them. I'm sorry if you can't get yours. I am. But I was looking forward to these, and I was so excited when they showed up.
I love that Paul.
The Paul one is great. They're all great.
Well, yeah, they're all great.
I can't wait to put them all up and have them all together. Maybe I'll redo what's behind me and I'll put those up. I don't know yet. Okay, so Jason, your turn.
My turn? Okay. I got I'm gonna do it in this order. I was waiting on this last week. I don't think I showed this. Did I show the towel?
You shared it in the group, but you didn't share it.
Haven't shown. Right. I got it. Right after we recorded.
That's the same thing with my rock and roll over.
Yeah. So here's a coin item. I'm gonna have to stand up to show it. Well, okay, I won't. So, but this is the colors on this thing are amazing. So it's so.
Wow.
It's nice.
Very nice piece. It's Paul and Peter down at the bottom.
That would never happen today. What does it smell like?
It's nice and vintage. Like it's been,
Ew.
But it's very nice. The towels, there's 3 towels. There's 2 from America and 1 from Australia. And I don't have any of them. It's something I haven't chased after. They're usually pretty expensive, and this guy was selling all 3 of them, and the other 2 sold excellent prices too, by the way. And the other 2 were just as vibrant as those, and they had sold before I actually saw them. And when I saw this one, I always, when I find somebody that's selling something cool on eBay or whatever, I always go and look at their other auctions.
That's what I do too.
Right, and I looked at his closed auctions, and I saw that he had 2 of these others. They sold for the same price, and but I purchased this very quickly. Sent pictures over to Nicholas, and he was like, "Oh my God, man, I hadn't seen one that clean before," and so I was very happy to get that to add to the collection. So let's discuss the competing shops.
I can't believe this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So we showed our solo album awards that we got.
Yes.
When those RIAA awards were first sold, the solo albums, all that stuff was sold by the KISS shop. And then somewhere along the line there, they decided to open an end of the road shop, as Andrew was saying. And so a lot of this stuff has shifted over to the end of the road. So the Rock and Roll Over award that came out after the solo album award is sold by the end of the road shop. So I, of course, ordered the award, and it is absolutely killer. Oh.
There's a big bend in it, though.
But I don't know if we're going to be able to see it.
It's hard to see it here, but in the pictures that you posted in the group, it was very, very clear. Very, very clear.
Hey, it'd help if I was showing the right side. No?
It can't because of the glare.
Oh, okay. Anyway, there's a big crease in the backing card that is very, very noticeable. And so, I posted it in the groups, and everybody was like, well, you're going to need to get, a replacement for that, because I had to get my solo album award replaced because they spelled my name wrong. And when that came and it said Jason, Jason Hemden, I sent the KISS shop a message. They responded to me immediately. They got me a new award out within 2 days. There were no issues at all, and it was corrected, and everything was great. So I send the end of the road shop.
Well, hold on. You're missing a really important part of the story.
What?
After you got yours replaced, and after you showed yours off to mine, I went and I purchased mine, and they dragged their feet shipping, didn't respond to multiple emails, and then luckily when it finally showed up, it was awesome, and it's hanging in my office now, so it's great. But I guess when Jason ordered his, it went through KISS shop, but by the time I had ordered mine, it was right through the end of the road shop, and the customer service there is horrible, terrible.
Right. So that's the point that we're trying to make here. Now that solo album award has shifted to the end of the road shop. So I copied the KISS shop on my issue with the Rock and Roll Over award along with the end of the road shop. And the KISS shop responded to me immediately and said, sorry, we're no longer handling these. This is all the end of the road shop. You need to contact them. Well, I've sent them 3 emails about this issue. We paid $75 for these awards, and it's got a big giant crease about that long on mine, and I have not received a single response. So I'm running into the same issue Andrew has run into about getting this thing replaced.
So it's not just me. So that makes me I'm sorry it's happening to you, but it makes me feel good that it wasn't just me. Well, sure.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't. I just want to say that I don't think it was the KISS shop that had the issues. It's the end of the road shop that has the issues.
Exactly. And that's the point I was trying to make on last week's episode.
Right, and they're two totally different entities.
Now let me ask you something. We both joined the KISS Army. You received your KISS Army goods, haven't you?
I did. I got them 2 days ago.
Okay, mine hasn't even shipped yet, and we joined on the same day, I think it was, right?
Very close. If not the same day, very close. Yes.
And they're just dragging their feet as far as sending my items. I haven't even gotten a shipping notification yet, and we are recording this 2 days before Christmas, so my stuff's not going to get here till probably after the new year. So I sent them a scathing email yesterday because this customer service, I will never shop with them again. I don't care what they offer. You're not getting a dime of my money. It's terrible. It's terrible.
So anyway, there's our new stuff and complaining. We're going to go over to Greg now. Greg, have you gotten anything recently that you want to show?
What did I get? I'm going to turn here on my Drum Thrones swiveler thing there. I just got my costumes right there. I just finished you see my hand there. I just finished Peter getting the Peter costume in all of the Collegeville hangers. So I had Gene, Peter, and Ace Gene, Paul, and Ace for a long time, and it took me about 2 years to finally find Pete. So
and it's a little tough to see because we've got a glare. No, don't move it. We can see it, but what's tough to see is what you're talking about here. That's special about these is they have a Collegeville hanger where they would have hung on a peg or something in the store, right?
In the stores.
Most of these, when you see the costumes, they're in boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these are the much harder to find ones that hang on those. And now the hangers that are on each one of these, they're not specific to KISS, are they? They're just like a generic Collegeville.
Right, and they have the sizes, on each one. And I have two different versions. There's an orange version for Ace and Gene, and then Peter and Paul have a little bit more of it looks a little larger of a yellow and black thing. I could probably zoom in there. I'll send you pictures.
Yeah, send pictures. We can see the one over Ace very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But where you've got your text there that says the Crane Kiss Museum, it makes it tough to see the other hangers.
I can't
so there they are.
It always shocks me when someone's like, "Oh yeah, check out my KISS museum," and usually it's like a lot of garbage, but like you pan your camera to the side and there's gotta be like very sought after, hard to find KISS items just right there. It's incredible. When I first saw the pictures of your collection that you posted in the group, Jason and I almost messaged each other at the same time saying we had to have you on the show because just that little bit of stuff that we've seen so far, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Oh, thanks a lot. One more thing I got not too long ago. I'm going to reach behind here. This is a new item, but it's still pretty cool.
Hey, some of the new stuff is cool.
Yeah, it's the poster from the In-N-Out Burger. When KISS played
cool. Hey,
special
cool.
party for In-N-Out Burger employees. And I just got that. A good friend of mine worked there, so he knew I was a big KISS guy. So we got
very neat.
That
man.
Is very cool.
Yeah,
yeah. You know how the store promotional items become very, very hard, sought after. You've got the Magic Market cups behind your head and all that stuff to get the posters and the displays for those things. I'm
smiling now because on next week's episode, I'm gonna have something very, very cool to show that is an in-store promo.
Oh, cool!
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Well, Scott's a big promo guy. So
we discussed that at length. I've got a Dynasty pyramid here, or a Q or a triangle pyramid, whatever the hell you want to call them, and he's looking for that, and he wants me to sell it to him, but I don't think I can part with it. So
Scott has a few things I've been trying to get him to part with. But,
yeah. I think we're all in that boat.
Actually, there's I just looked over at my pile, and there's something that I forgot to show. Can I show one more thing?
No. Of course.
So, esteemed guest of the show and good friend of mine, Keith Valcourt, sent me this Christmas card.
Oh, hey, that is cool, man.
So
he sure has had a hell of a year. For the most part, has had a hell of a year.
Listen, I had a lot of laughs with this guy. A lot of laughs, and I can't wait to see him again.
He's a great guy. All right, so let's move on to talking to Greg about his personal history and all of that stuff. So we just start with a simple question, Greg. When did you become?
No, that's not the question. The question we start is, who is your daddy? What does he do?
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
No, this is not. This is not Kindergarten Cop.
You're ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we don't ask that. So, so anyway, what when did you get into KISS? What got you into KISS? What year? What are we talking about here?
I guess it would have been 1977. My brother was a big fan, so I went up. I remember going up into his room one day and seeing posters up on the wall, and just going like, "What's that all about? what's this? He's like, oh, it's KISS. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I remember somebody has to know where this is from, but it was like a magazine cutout, and the guys were like I think it was like a buggy or something, like Central Park, like taking like maybe a trip through Central Park. And I remember seeing that going, oh, this is crazy. What is this all about? And then, he was a drummer, still a drummer. So we would go down to the basement and play drums. He's like, oh, you got to start practicing to some music. And hey, by the way, I have a KISS record. So he put on Love Gun. So I would just sit there and practice and start playing to Love Gun. So that's really when it started. And then, 78 with all the toys and KISS Meets a Fan and everything. Then it just, went crazy from there. So
right. So did you start? When 78 came around? I don't know how old you were. If you want to mention how old you were, that was great.
46.
46 in 1978.
I'm 98 now.
He's 98 now. So yeah. But when 78 rolled around, I mean, were you buying that stuff, that merchandise that came out, or having your?
I got a few things. I mean, we lived in a very rural town, so like the big city where the mall and Montgomery Wards and Toys R Us and stuff like that was probably about 25 miles away. So my parents got me. I remember getting the name escapes me, but it was the big posters with the markers, with the draw-on
the color
posters.
Ones. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember getting that, but the big thing in our town was cards. Because I could get them at the store and I can get them at, the little bubblegum shop or whatever, And so that's what I really started getting into. So I was a massive KISS card collector, and that's why I have a little bit of a huge love for him still today. So I got a few things. I had the makeup kit. I got the makeup kit, and I had the and posters. My folks would bring them, get them for Christmas and things like that. So I didn't have a lot of stuff when I was a youngster, but cards were my big thing.
It's great because you were probably a little bit older than me in 77. I was still
7. I was 7.
Okay, you were 7. So about when I started getting some things was when I was about 6 or 7, but I was on the tail end of the merchandise machine. So I was going into, there was a local 5 and dime shop here called Ben Franklin. And yeah. And
it's Ben Franklin all the time.
That's right. And they would have, closeout stuff, just junk thrown, for $1 or whatever, 50 cents or something like that. And I remember it getting in 1980 or 81, when I was 6, I believe, I got the rub and play kit. And of course I took it out and I rubbed and played it and I took it to a class picnic and, destroyed it and all that stuff. So shut up. What do you mean?
But mine was later. Mine was later in like the early 90s is when I had that.
And you played with it?
I did.
Oh my God.
It was in 1991. Like I didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's funny hearing that, because I know you haven't watched the show. Everybody else knows all this, but we have these age gaps here. Andrew's still pretty young. I mean, he's in his 30s, but he's still pretty young, so he come into KISS in a whole different time.
Yeah, you guys experienced the end of the golden era. And when I say that, it's like the end of the makeup era. I know Jason didn't see KISS for the first time until the Creatures of the Night tour.
Creatures tour, right.
But he still experienced that. Like I was into the band in the late 80s. I was very, very young, but I didn't really become an uber fan or the fan that I am now until right before the reunion tour. Like once it was ramping up that they were going to put the makeup back on and all this stuff, like that's when I became a huge fan. So that reunion tour to me is probably the greatest time in history, my opinion, just because I was there, I experienced it. I would go to my local deli and there'd be KISS magazines everywhere.
Right.
Of course, I would get them all. And I just remember that. So you guys, Jason, you remember going to, Ben Franklin's and you guys remember going in and seeing stuff and getting cards and stuff. For me, it was 96, 97.
Right.
And I still remember going to like Kmart and looking at all the different, I mean, at the time I had the KISS action figures, but I was like, mommy, they have records in them now. She's like, it's the same shit.
It's the same shit. The same shit.
I never got the record versions. I should probably pick up a set now.
Yeah, pick up a set.
But
so it's so funny to hear Ben Franklin. That's so funny.
Right. So
I heard that since I was a kid.
Right. So it's always interesting when we get, collectors in here that were, you were 7 and 77, when we get a collector on that was 10 and 75. And, it's always interesting to me to hear how people got into collecting merchandise and if they continued to stay in it, because we had that period from, 82, 83 to the late 80s, where to me it seemed like this dry gap. People weren't searching out that stuff. And you don't find many people that say, oh, yeah, I was collecting majorly through that time period. What you usually find is, and this is, where I'm leading with my next question is, hey, I was 7 years old in 77 and I had, this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. But I didn't start picking back up again until 87, 88 when the conventions started happening. And, you had people like Frank Raglio and all those guys, Peter Arquette, and those guys come on the scene and start selling merchandise again. And Rainbow Rockatorium and all those kinds of places. So did you have your KISS stuff, your merchandise that you collected and then, stop because there really wasn't anywhere to get any of that stuff? Or what's your history with that part of it?
I kept a few things. Oh, and by the way, real quick, going back on cards, do you guys smell the KISS cards?
Yes,
you know
they smell exactly the same.
Yeah. It freaks me out to this day. Like I grab my smell and I put them up to my mouth, my nose, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, they have a smell."
I smelled that towel. The 70s have a smell. And of course, those cards were in with that piece of bubble gum.
I don't know if it's the cardboard or something. There's something. Yeah. Anyway,
I think that gum and sugar permeates those cards and gives it a different smell.
It takes you right back to being a little kid. It's awesome.
Well, here's a great story. Here's a great story about the cards, and I don't mean to cut you off, and I'll let you continue. Here's a funny story about the cards. When I was very young, I went to the 92 KISS convention in Hackensack, New Jersey, and I got this is funny. I think that day I got the cards, the color forms, and the rub and play the same day. And I was a kid. What did I do? Fucking play with them. But there was when I first moved,
and then you bought it again for $300.
Yeah, goddamn exactly right, we did.
That's exactly what I did. So I remember when I was a little bit, maybe like 8 or 9 or maybe even 10, there was a flood in my basement, and all that stuff got ruined. And I just was like, oh man, it got ruined, and I was just seeing KISS cards like floating in water. And fast forward years later, like 2003, 2004, I get a set of the cards again, and I take them out of the wrapper, and I go, wait a minute, I go, oh my God, they smell the same. And I had thought that the cards had smelled because some of them were caught in a flood, and I thought that it was mildew, but I just smelled these cards. I was like, fuck, they still smell the same. I got the binder upstairs, so the next show that we do, we're going to do an on-the-air smelling of KISS cards.
Oh, that's great.
Let's do a smelling of KISS cards. All right, go ahead, Greg.
When as through school, like through the 80s and things like that, I didn't really have a whole lot of things. I had the pillow, the pillow, little dynasty pillow you see around in the tapestry, and obviously I was still listening to the band, but I didn't really have a whole lot of merchandise. I think from when I was a youngster, those things just kind of fell off because at the time you weren't really thinking about this is going to be worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars later on, and then started getting back into it right before the reunion. I started, kind of picking back up, and there was a guy in LA named Dan Starr. I don't know if you guys know him, and that was, selling some things, and I had a little group of friends that I still have, Chris Arvanitas, Mike Taylor, if you're watching this, that we would, put together our little KISS collections, and I started picking it back up right before the reunion.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So, I remember, I have pictures from my music room when I was, 10, 11, 12 years old. And I still had KISS merchandise on shelves displayed. So this would have been the mid-'80s. So I was, as much as I could find, because I spent a lot of time with my mom going to flea markets and junk stores and all of that stuff. And invariably there would be something there, nothing nothing like we would do now, but there would be, if it was I was made for 11U45, or if it was a little button, or you find I remember finding a Paul Stanley doll, a Mego doll just in the corner with a bunch of other Barbie dolls, and you pick it up for $1 or whatever. So
was it this one?
It was not that one. So and and so I was still getting things, nothing in good shape or anything like that, but I've got some pictures. I'd probably need to show it to you sometime, Andrew, or send it to you. I've got a couple of Polaroids I took of my little KISS room, and you can see it.
Me too.
All the smatterings of just random little pieces of merchandise, at 10 years old in the mid 80s, which I didn't know anybody that was collecting KISS stuff then, So,
what I have that I'm still really, really proud of is I have my magazine/computer printout scrapbook. Meaning I would get a magazine, and I would always get 2 copies of the magazine because I still have mint copies of these magazines. I would cut out the pictures I like, and I would put them in like photo album pages that you would do like family photos. Some people had family photos. Well, I had KISS. So, and I still have this, and it's organized from 74, and then it goes to 82, and then it picks back up again from 96 to 2000. I stopped updating it in 2000.
Huh, that's cool. I'd like to see that sometime.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
All right. So, Greg, you've got all of this killer stuff behind you. Why don't you talk about a few pieces in your collection that are your cream of the crop, that your favorite pieces? They don't have to be the rarest. Yeah, they don't have to be the rarest or anything like that.
Just your favorite.
Your favorite pieces.
Well, behind me, I'll move, but the Magic Market cups, and you guys totally understand how it freaks you out if there's 8 of something and you only have 3, completely obsessed. So I'm completely obsessed on those, and I'm missing one. It's a Gene number 5. If anybody's listening to this, get a hold of me. It's like a weird vulture or something on him. So yeah, I'm looking for that one. I actually got it from Scott. I'll send you a picture when it's up there. Maybe I can grab it down. But I got a box of the Australian cards, with a complete box of the Australian cards.
No kidding.
Yeah, you know what? I'll grab it down.
So grab it if you can. Grab it down. Pull your head.
I don't want to get out of frame, but
that's fine, man. No, it's totally fine.
There we go.
Because those are tough as hell to find. The box is tough as hell to find for sure.
There it is. I know there's a version that says new series on it.
Yes.
This one doesn't say that one, but still, we can smell these.
Listen, I love that artwork. I love that artwork on the card wrapper.
I think the way you can differentiate, I think the price is different. Isn't that correct?
Maybe. Oh, yeah. It's these are 20 cents.
Right.
And on the bottom, it says, try not to drop these over, it says no obligation to comply with recommended retail price.
Right.
On the outside, Perth, Western Australia.
That's right. So. And that's the other, when you get that version. In fact, that's probably the version I see the least. The one that says new series is the one I feel like I see the most. I assume you have the US series 1 and 2, complete boxes.
Right.
Yep.
I have the boxes. I don't have the complete. This is actually the first box of complete cards. So when it came up, I had to get it. So my obsession with cards. So I love the Australian stuff. That's a big thing with me because I was right around that age in 1980 with Eric. I remember going to the store and seeing the People magazine, and what. Wait, did Peter change his makeup? What is this all about? So that, because everything was colorful and, being a kid, I was really, really into that era, Kids Are People too. I remember watching that. So I have a good amount of Australian stuff from Phil from the Australian webpage, who's an amazing guy. And we've done some trading and so I have a good Australian collection. Probably one of the other things I'm going to reach around here is this, if you can see it. So this is
very nice.
This is Peter's bass drum head from right around Psycho Circus, and Ace and Peter signed it for me.
Nice.
So cool. How'd you get that?
Yeah. Well, this came about. A good friend of mine worked with Eddie Cannon, and it was right around my birthday, and they were talking on the phone, and they were going to meet up, and obviously my friend Mariano had said, he knew that I was, KISS freak, so he said, hey, you ever change out the bass drum heads? He said, yeah, I'm gonna do that. He goes, could I get one for my friend? He goes, yeah, I'm just about to swap it out. So he brought it down to Mariano, and I went and saw him the next day, and he's like, hey, I got something for you in the corner, and there it was. So yeah, I had this actually had a display company make me a plexi display for it. So it's been in there ever since.
That's killer, man.
Wow.
Thanks. And I also have Peter's. Oh, thanks. I really love it. I'm trying to get Gene and Paul to. Get Gene and Paul to sign it. That'll be the next one. So
for sure.
And I guess probably the last. Again, I'm going to go out of frame, but Peter's tail, one of Peter's cattails from Dynasty, and I think these are available at the convention. I believe there it is.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
They had.
So that costume is in Cleveland right now. If you don't know, it's in the vault in the Rock Hall, not on display, but it is in the vault. Yeah, it's in their vault.
I've been wanting to see that. A couple friends have been in there and seen the boots and like that. But a friend of mine had gotten that at the convention, and I bothered him for 10, 15 years. Like, oh, you don't care about that. Let me have it. Come on. So
it's always
finally,
awesome.
I broke him down.
It's awesome to try to downplay something for someone. Yeah, you don't even know what the hell that is, man. What
do you care? What do you care? What are you going to do with it? Well, that's what I do to Scott. He's got that Australian pillow.
Yeah.
And he was on the show talking about he has one that has a rip. And I'm like, Scott, you don't want one with a rip in it. Let me have it. I'll get someone to sew it. What do you care?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, he said he was going to get rid of it. So I'm sure you'll probably be able to. He said he has to replace it. I think he said. So once he replaces
he has the what? You can only have one of everything.
Yeah, he has that thing. We talked all about that. You can only have one of I got doubles, triples, quadruples of all kinds of crap.
And then you wonder why there's like a sea of garbage. What you're not seeing is like right below Jason. It's like all these open mailer boxes because he's got to keep them all because he's insane.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm the guy that Scott said he doesn't collect vinyl. Do you collect vinyl?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a vinyl guy, and it's exactly the same idea that Scott was talking about. It's just too much of a rabbit hole. You know what I mean? There's so many things. Vinyl and posters are things.
Yeah, but how cool is this? Don't you want one of these?
It's great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I do have. What do I have? I just have 45. I mean, I have a few. I want to get actually the solo album 45s, the individual, the small colored
from
vinyl.
the UK.
Right.
Well, if you buy the Casablanca singles box set, they replicated those, and that's a cheap way to get them.
Yes.
Yeah. You spend $100 and get the Casablanca singles box set, and they're all in picture sleeves now. It's all the U.S. release singles, but they've went around. Actually, Tom Shannon went around and picked out different sleeves from around the world, and they replicated them. And one of the things they replicated was the UK versions of the solo albums. So they did color vinyl, and it has the little masks in them. Mm-hmm. So
right.
Yeah,
it's really cool. We did a show on that a couple of years back, and it's actually very cool. But what I did with mine is I took mine out of the set, and I have the posters signed from the reunion tour. So I have the smaller CD ones signed by everyone, and when I framed them, I put the little colored record behind it. So it looks very cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. So if you want a cheaper way to automatically get those, you can get the Casablanca singles box set.
Still official. Still official.
Oh, it's absolutely official.
Still official.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Man,
so you have these awesome items, some of the stuff that you have I've never even seen before, which is even cooler. Like, I love that. Like, this is actually making me, we got Christmas coming, I got time off of work, so I'm like gonna like dig into, some KISS stuff again. Can't wait. But if you can name 5, and if you can't name 5, try to name 3. What are your most sought after items that you don't have that you have to have in your collection?
A few thousand people will see this.
Right. Put the word out. Like I was saying before, the Magic Market Cup, having only missing one is driving me crazy. So that's probably number 1, just to finish that set out. I think it's number 5. Okay. It's the Gene one, and he's got like a weird vulture type thing on his shoulder. I think next up is the Scream Machines.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to get those. Yeah.
Do you have any?
And I don't.
I have the common baby blue color. That's the most common one. But when you try to find when you try to find the orange and white ones, oh, good Lord, man. They're expensive.
See, whenever we do this, I try and look on eBay and see if I could find those things on eBay.
You can find them from time to time. I watch for Scream Machines all the time, but man, I mean, the white and orange ones are minimum $500 pieces, probably $600 to $800 pieces.
The blue one is on there right now for $500.
Right, and the blue one is the most common one. Yeah, I think that's a little high for the blue one, in my opinion. I think you can get. I got my blue one for about $200 or something like that. But the other colors are stupid hard to find. So, all right. So Scream Machines,
the Rub and Play, I need to get that. Rub and Play, Scream Machine, and then the Aussie pillow, the Eric pillow is the big one for me. So that, and I think the toy guitar is next up. That's one I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, you're naming stuff I don't have as well. I need a toy guitar. Of course, there's if you get on John Five's page, there's 3 or 4 different ones of them, and different color.
I can't wait to see John again.
Yeah, John's great. Different color necks on the guitars, and just all kinds of Do you run down rabbit holes like that? So the Collegeville hanger costumes that you have over there. You have 2 different hangers for Ace and Gene, and 2 different hangers for Paul and Peter, right? So do you want to get the complete sets where they all have the same hanger?
Same?
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I thought about that. I was like, oh, man, maybe they should all match, because I get crazy like that. It's fine.
It's fine.
As it is. I get buttons. I started getting buttons.
Yeah.
And, they're fairly common, but it's one of those things where you have, Gene and Peter, you're like, oh God, I can't even look at it. I can't even look at it in the case because I don't have the other 2,
Yeah.
And, so that was kind of a rabbit hole. The notebooks, I'm missing the Paul notebooks. So that's another thing I'm missing that, and I think you can find them around. It's just one of those things of getting it. But, you start getting down notebook and folder rabbit holes.
The notebooks, there's multiple different versions of the notebooks. There's slightly smaller. There's some that have white backs and some that have tan backs, and there's a huge rabbit hole to get to go down. It's just crazy, the variations.
Right.
So I noticed what I'm beginning, as we talk to more and more collectors, there's like a clear delineation between collectors, and I'm going to simplify them. Because I'm sure we can go off in different little branches here and there, but there are collectors that are collectors of merchandise, and then there are collectors that are collectors of the music, whether it be the music on different formats, unofficial formats, all kinds of other things.
And then there's the collectors that do both.
Yes, like Jason does both. So did you ever want to maybe get every album on CD, different versions of that, or are you strictly a merchandise guy?
I'd stick just with kind of the toys and the merchandise, just because, like we were saying before, I knew if I started going off in different areas that it would, be broke and be obsessed with it, So I just tried to find kind of one area, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure once I get the other things we're talking about, I'll branch off. But.
Yeah, it has always been a battle with me personally because, I clearly I have that OCD where I want to have everything or as much as possible. But, I'm not rich, so my bank account doesn't support that. So it's tough, I have over 400 pieces of KISS vinyl here, and that's not even scratching the surface. And as I said in the Scott episode, and I've talked about many times with Nicholas, because Nicholas doesn't collect vinyl either, is, it was the original collectible for me. Mm-hmm. I got into KISS by getting a KISS record, and what I wanted to get after that was all the KISS records and all the things that came in the KISS records. And when I started getting KISS records that had order forms, that is what opened the door of wanting to get the merchandise. So I tied it all together in my mind. If I want to have a complete version of Double Platinum back then, not only did I have to have the record and the award that was in it and the order form that was in it, I had to have all the things that was on the order form,
I'm glad you said Double Platinum, because I'm going to come back to that in a second. But, I'm like you. I love getting the music. This was a no-brainer for me because it's my favorite KISS record. So right. I don't know if I'll get the solo album ones. I'm not sure on that. But, for me, this was an absolute no-brainer. Now, Double Platinum was the first album I remember having as a kid. So if there's ever multiple versions of that, I'm totally getting that. There's actually two different auctions that I'm watching on eBay right now, both from Japan, and they're both complete with the point of purchase poster. So mine currently is complete. Well, mine doesn't have the obi, but it has everything else besides the obi.
Right.
So, but I'm thinking of getting rid of that and just getting this because the price is good. And that point of purchase poster is one of my favorite KISS posters.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Of all
and
time.
You talk about a rabbit hole, getting into Japanese vinyl of KISS and getting the point of purchase, the point of purchase items. To get the clipboard from Creatures of the Night is absolutely impossible. I've seen one in my whole life in person, one, and another collector's collection, and it's just. Man, you got to be rich or lucky. So, or both. So,
or both.
It's
okay,
crazy.
So we're here in December of 2018. The end of the road tour is upon us. Are you going?
Yeah, we're going to go to the Anaheim show, the Honda Center. I forget the date right off the top of my head, but yeah, we're gonna get together and go to that show. Kind of get a group together of KISS friends and tailgate and do the whole thing.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever purchased a meet and greet, or will you ever purchase a meet and greet on this tour?
I haven't done the meet and greet thing. I thought about it. Mm-hmm. I thought about it on this tour, but it's really pricey, and
yes,
we had talked about before with the autographs, like you can't have signed. I thought that was kind of lame. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I have enough. I don't know. The meet and greet thing is very cool. If it was, all inclusive, like you can get your things signed. I've seen some videos from on YouTube of earlier meet and greets, like from a few years ago, where people, have all their anything signed is the most important part. But when they away, I was like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to.
That's the mistake I made, was I never did the meet and greet. And I, of course, now I'm afraid if I don't do it now, I won't ever get to do it because I don't have a photo with myself and the full band in makeup. And that's what I want. But I should have done it way earlier because, I chose the year to do it where they took everything away, basically. And, but I am going to do it in Nashville. It'll be my first and probably last full band meet and greet, I would imagine. So
I did get a picture with Paul once in makeup, and it was complete game changer. Like, I mean, you guys have probably met Gene Paul and the guys, at one point, and it's fine if they're out of makeup. You're like, this is great. Get a picture. But in makeup, it's completely different. Like I was like a little kid. I was like, and they're like, why are you acting so crazy? I'm like, no, he's in makeup. This is not just regular.
Was that
Paul
the
Stanley.
NAMM show in 2003?
Star Child. It was at the NAMM show, right? Yeah.
See, it's fucked up how I knew that.
Yeah, I know. Good. And he had the year and everything. Good job.
Yeah. So it's the same with.
I stood in line. Oh no, go ahead.
No. You go ahead. Tell your story.
Oh no, I stood in line and I had my friend. It was an old digital camera, and I had a friend of mine. I said, "Look, this is how you work the camera. Don't mess it up. I'm going to go up there." And they were saying like, "No pictures, no pictures," but Paul was being really cool and let people take pictures with him. So I'm like, don't mess it up. You're going to get a good focus. You're going to frame it well, whatever. I gave him the instructions. We get up, right? I go and he signs a little card. I lean in. We take the picture. I go back. I'm like, let me see it. It was the worst out of focus shot you've ever seen. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I walked around and I was so deflated. I remember walking around going, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. So I got so mad, and finally I stopped. I said, "You know what? No, I'm not going out like that. I'm going again. I'm going again. I'm going in again." So I got back in line, and I kind of waited towards the front to where the security guy was, and there was a little break in the action. And I go to the security guy. I said, "Look, man, can I just look at the picture?" And I showed it to him. I said, "Look how bad this is. Can you just let me sneak in just real quick and have a retake of this picture?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, no problem, man. Get in there."
Oh, that's good.
So he took the picture. And I was like, "Oh, God, thank you. I finally have satisfaction of this photo." But when you see the picture, it's like me, and I'll send it to you. Truly, I'm super goofy in the picture.
Great.
Dude, like I'm so goofy in all my kids' pictures.
I'm leaning in. I'm super goofy. But it was great. I had it blown up like 19 different times. And,
yeah. See, I'm in the same boat.
I'll say you guys, I'm like, hee.
I'm in the same boat. I've never gotten a photo with any of the members in makeup. Andrew has met the band in makeup umpteen times. It's crazy, and but I've never, all these years, I've met Paul dozens of times, Gene dozens of times, all of the guys dozens of times, with the exception of Peter, and but I have never once met the guys in makeup or any of the individuals in makeup, and I've never gotten a photo with them. So that is why I had to buy a meet and greet this time.
Is it because you're lazy?
Gotta get it done.
Is it because I'm lazy? No, it's not because I'm lazy. It's because I'm not rich. Well, every other thing that's a downfall in my life is because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But not meeting the band.
Wow. This really took a turn.
Jesus.
Well, that's it's a running joke why my KISS room. Me and my wife just bought this house in July, and
I've heard this story before.
Yeah, I feel like you've heard this before, Andrew. And one of the main reasons why I wanted this house is because it has a completely finished basement, which I'm sitting in right now, and the whole thing is mine. My wife gets the other 2,000 square feet upstairs. I get the 1,000 square feet down here of a finished basement with an office and a bathroom and the whole 9 yards. And all my shit is setting in tubs and in boxes, and I've been here for 6 months, man.
Well, you got to go to IKEA. You got to get a couple of those glass cases, and that's where
I don't need any more glass cases, Andrew. I have 5 glass cases out there.
What's the problem?
I'm a lazy piece of shit.
Just listen, crank the Peter Criss solo album one day, because I know you love that pile of shit.
Wow.
Crank that one.
That's
yeah.
That's a hard one to get through.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's
hard one to get through, man.
We do not insult the band on my podcast. Seriously.
Yeah.
If you can get through Saint Anger and Peter Criss's solo record in one sitting, I think you win a prize. I think that's a prize.
Saint Anger is impossible
Can't
to
get
listen
through Saint Anger.
There are no hooks in Saint Anger. At least, even if you don't like the style of music, I Can't Stop the Rain has a huge hook in it,
It's the hook that you're getting someone off the stage. That's the hook it's got on it.
So, I love Peter's solo album, and I'm not ashamed to say so. I was my favorite member of KISS when I was young was Peter. I'm a drummer, and I wanted to be a drummer, and I loved Peter Criss, and so I made myself. I don't know if I made myself, but I just loved anything that involved Peter back then.
I like Out of Control.
You know what? I do like Out of Control. I
like Out of Control too.
I remember getting that as a kid, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." Like I rolled with Out of Control, and then when I got the Elder for Christmas, and I remember listening to it because it came out in November, so I got it like right at Christmas time, and I remember. I dug it. I really liked it. Same way with Out of Control. It was like I kind of like the vibe of it and kind of pop dancey. And
I've caught shit on this show for over 3 years for loving the Elder and standing up for it. So, and I got it around the same time, around Christmas of 81. So,
Thanks.
All right. So, any other collecting thoughts you want to share with us or leave with us?
Share.
I really, I don't know. I don't know if I have any parting thoughts, but I mean, I really do dig the community that, we all have. I think it's very cool how, Phil and Scott and you guys and everybody on, the Facebook pages and like that, kind of come together and have fun with each other and trade. And I just, obviously, let's keep that going, I guess that's my thoughts.
I've been running my groups for 3 years now, and it started. What were you going to say, Andrew? I'm waiting for the snide comment.
Been working on those groups for 3 years now, Brian.
Yeah,
got a big stack of pages there. It's the Family Guy thing, because Brian was working on a novel for 3 years, and Stewie's making fun of him for it.
You're a dork.
When the voice goes hot.
Yeah, 3 years out, Brian. Got better experience that, Brian.
Well, anyway, I have no plans of leaving the groups anytime soon. So, we're still going to do this podcast and.
If I could just add on to that, and I
you
said
can't.
this, and I said
Thanks,
this,
everybody.
And I said this on the KISS Room a couple weeks ago when I was on the KISS Room. It's just really time to just cut all that crap and just have fun with this. This should be, none of us bowl, but this should be our bowling night. This is supposed to be fun, and when it's not fun, that's kind of when I look and I start doing other things. I'm a big action figure collector. I like reading comics and seeing movies. So when KISS becomes not fun, I kind of look at that stuff. But this should just be fun. There are a lot of detractors in the KISS community, people pointing out things they like and this and who cares? Shut up. This should be fun. And remember.
Right.
Once I don't know what's going to happen to the community once KISS is done. We don't know.
It'd be interesting to see what happens to the community once there is no official KISS in existence.
There'll be no live commentary on things that KISS is or isn't doing. So it'll just be about enjoying what we had. And I've enjoyed this. I've met a lot of great friends. I've met a lot of great people throughout this. So, this show has been a huge pastime and a really positive influence on me. So, like I said, cut all the crap and let's just have fun with this, because it's going to be over soon.
There we go.
Mic drop.
Bring it in, guys. Bring it in, guys.
Drop.
Oh, are we
come in for the real thing?
Anyone that says mic drop doesn't know how expensive a mic is, so don't drop them.
Don't drop your mics, kids. Don't drop your mics.
Stop dropping your mics.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Greg, for taking the time to come on.
Thanks a lot. It's a lot of fun.
And show your stuff. And you're welcome to come back if you get any cool new pieces. We can do it again and show other stuff. Just enjoy the world of KISS collecting. So,
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Nobody else has anything else to say. Andrew, you good?
I'm good. I'm always good.
All right. We will see you on the next one.